It was really late, and I had just spent 2 hours trying to write on this Ferndale story that I'd put on my creating list, so I was feeling frustrated. Things kept getting all jumbled in my mind because there were so many lands and people and things to keep track of. I knew I needed a map, so I closed my computer and sketched this really sad-looking map showing the land of Ferndale and its village off to the east, and then the weeping woods surrounding it all the other lands, like Eastermoor and Whitewind and Ashvale. My map was clearly not the least bit pretty enough, because a few days later, I found my husband sketching a new one for me. He's a much better artist than I am, so I let him do it. I told him where to put things, and he obliged. This is how we spent a couple of our evenings. There was another evening, back in the beginning, when I was trying to work out how I was going to connect all these fairy tale characters, and I couldn't quite get it exactly right. So I was telling him all their names and the stories they come from, and he took out a whiteboard and started writing everything down, and before we knew it, there were all sorts of connections. So I remade my list and began on a character brainstorm that took me 9 writing sessions to finish, because there are so many different characters, and I picked all the actors I would cast as those characters, including actors like Ryan Reynolds, and Chris Farley, and Tina Fey, and Cate Blanchett, and Logan Lerman, and Corey Feldman, back when he was Mouth from the Goonies. And then I plotted out the first season of stories. Before Ferndale, I wasn't much of a brainstorm the whole plot kind of writer. I was more of a let's see where this story ends up going kind of writer. But with so many characters to keep straight, and with the constrictions that their stories put on me, since they're characters from fairy tales that have already been written, I knew that this would take some planning. So I stepped a little out of my comfort zone and spent about a week planning plot lines. One night, my husband and I decided to start watching Once Upon a Time, which, if you know anything about this ABC series, you know that it's about fairy tale characters who are caught in a present-day world and don't know who they are. We started watching it, originally, because we were afraid that it might be too close to the story I'd created around Ferndale, but that wasn't the case. What I did get from Once Upon a Time was the idea for flashbacks, so Ferndale will be told almost like an episode that you'd watch on television. It will flip from present day to past and back again, in order to tell a more complete story about the events that have led us to Ferndale's present day. This series is a massive one. There are more than 50 characters already, and I'm sure there will be more as their stories evolve. It has magic and dragons and secrets and mysterious enchantresses and prophets and children and adventure and danger. In the next video, I'll share about the day I knew I had to write Ferndale's story. Thanks for watching.